The story begins amidst the icy cliffs of the Arctic, where we see a man named Mikkelsen. He has been stranded here for many days, waiting for help. He also has a small plane that has crashed. In fact, Mikkelsen was passing through this region with his teammates Mond, but their plane crashed, killing everyone except him. Now he's the only survivor, hoping someone will come rescue him. He has a small radio device that he operates by turning a handle. It's designed to help him make contact with any helicopters flying nearby. But no matter how many times he tries, he gets no response, because this place is so remote that no one ever comes here. Above the snow, where the ice is thin, Mikkelsen has set up in small traps to catch fish. He has caught many fish, and by eating them, he has managed to try and stay alive. The next morning, he climbs up a cliff to use his radio device again, but even today, no one responds. We also see some rock souls nearby that he talks to. These are the graves of his dead crewmates, whom he buried here himself. Mikkelsen returns to his crashed plane, only to find that the fish he had stored are gone. At first, he thinks maybe another survivor is around, but then he sees polar bear tracks. He realizes a polar bear is nearby, and it could attack him at any time. Terrified, he rushes back into his plane, roused to hide. Now, Mikkelsen has another fear. The fear of polar bears, which are extremely dangerous. At this point in the original video, there's a request for viewers to like and subscribe. We'll skip that here. The next morning, Mikkelsen steps outside. Despite the stormy winds, he climbs the cliff again with his machine, hoping to make contact. As he turns the handle, a green light appears, meaning there is a helicopter nearby. But due to the whiteout conditions, he can't see anything clearly. Suddenly he spots a helicopter approaching. He had prepared a flare, which he lights up, and now the helicopter notices him and starts flying toward him. But then the helicopter gets caught in the storm and ends up crashing. Mikkelsen runs to the crash site and sees that the pilot has died. But there is a woman inside, badly injured but alive. He breaks open the helicopter door and gently places the woman on top, trying to rescue her. Then with great difficulty, he drags her all the way back to his plane. He brings her inside, where she regains consciousness. He tries to communicate around with her, but realizes that she doesn't speak English, and he doesn't speak her language either. He notices a serious wound on her stomach, which he stitches up. The woman loses consciousness again, and Mikkelsen writes her a note saying, "I'll be back soon." Would you like the entire movie story summarized briefly now, or are you trying to find out the movie's title? Here is the English translation of the provided Hindi text. He says, "I'll come back," and goes near the helicopter, where he finds the dead body of the pilot. He buries the pilot and places stones over the grave. Then he checks the helicopter and finds a map of the Arctic, which means he can now use it to find a way out of there. Along with that, he also finds some frozen noodles and a portable stove. For the past several days, he had been eating raw fish, but now that he has a stove, he can finally cook his food. Mikkelsen also finds a photo of the injured woman and the pilot. There is a small child in the photo with them, and he realizes they were a family. He feels deeply saddened, knowing that the pilot died trying to save him. Bringing the helicopter to him is what caused it to crash. Filled with guilt, Mikkelsen collects all the supplies and returns to his plane. Suddenly, he hears a sound from Outside, when he goes to check the trap he had set for fish, he finds a huge fish caught in it. He takes it back to the plane and uses the stove to cook the noodles and fish. In fact, he had been stranded here for 6 months, and today, for the first time in 6 months, he eats cooked food. He also gives some to the injured woman. Then he examines the map he found in the helicopter. From the map, he learns that there is a point several kilometers away where helicopters arrive for rescue operations. He decides to leave this place and take the woman with him because soon the cold will worsen, with temperatures expected to drop to 40 or even 50 degrees, and no human can survive in such extreme cold. So Mikkelsen makes up his mind to take the woman to that rescue point. Though the journey is extremely difficult, Mikkelsen is determined to save her life. He catches a lot of fish, stores some water, and leaves a note in the plane saying, "We were alive here, but now we are heading north." He carefully packs the woman into a sleeping bag and lays her on top of a plastic sled-like container. Then, he starts dragging her forward. However, Mikkelsen himself is now very weak, so his pace is very slow. He keeps talking to the woman constantly. Now he has a purpose: to save her life at any cost, because he feels responsible for her husband's death. He continues dragging her forward. After many hours, when he checks the map, he realizes there are still about 45 kilometers to cover, which will take around 7 days due to the slow speed in snow. Moreover, Mikkelsen is severely low on strength, and the biggest threat is the polar bear, which is nearby in the area. After walking the whole day, night falls. Now he must find a safe place to sleep, one where the cold is bearable. Night temperatures drop drastically in this region. So he digs a hole in the snow and sets up a small tent to protect himself from the cold. He brings the woman inside, where he also prepares some food. Mikkelsen spends the entire night with her in the tent. The next morning, he resumes his journey. Mikkelsen is now even weaker than before. Let me know if you'd like the next part translated as well. Here is the English translation of the second part of your text. Mikkelsen is now extremely exhausted, but he is determined to save the girl at any cost. That's why he keeps moving forward slowly but steadily. Suddenly, he comes across a very tall cliff. He can climb it by himself, but he can't pull the girl up with him. He takes out the map from his pocket and checks it. He finds there is an alternative route to cross the cliff, but it would take 4 to 5 extra days, and he doesn't have enough food supplies to survive that long. So he decides that he has no choice but to pull the girl up over the cliff. First, he climbs up himself and then starts pulling the girl up using a rope. Slowly and carefully, he's lifting her, but suddenly the rope slips from his hand and the girl slides all the way back down. Mikkelsen realizes that pulling the girl up this cliff is impossible, so he brings all the supplies back down and accepts that if he wants to save her, he'll have to take the longer route. He begins walking slowly on the longer path. The girl is in very bad condition. Her health is deteriorating even more. Mikkelsen keeps dragging her the whole day, and soon night falls. He needs to find shelter for the night because the cold becomes much more dangerous after dark, and there is also the risk of a polar bear attack. He spots a small cave between the rocks. He realizes it might be a polar bear's den, but he has no other choice. Luckily, the polar bear isn't inside. He goes in with the girl and prepares some food, but now his gas supply is finished, meaning he can't cook food anymore from this point on. As days go by, Mikkelsen's problems only grow worse. One night, while he is in the cave, he hears the sound of movement outside. He realizes a polar bear is nearby. The bear tries to enter the cave, but Mikkelsen quickly lights a flare and throws it outside. The polar bear gets scared and runs away. Still, Mikkelsen spends the night in fear. The next morning, he comes out and finds the bear is gone. So, he quickly leaves with the girl. After walking for several hours, he encounters a snowstorm. To protect themselves, he positions the sled on which the girl is lying so that it shields them from the storm, and he lies down beside her, holding her tightly. When the storm passes, he finds himself completely buried under snow. He checks on the girl and sees blood coming from her mouth. On inspecting her wound, he realizes it is now infected. He understands that saving her may no longer be possible. Her body shows no signs of movement. So he decides to leave her there and continue the journey alone. He takes her family photo with him and moves on. Though it breaks his heart, he has no other choice. However, shortly after walking a bit further, he falls into a ravine and breaks a bone in his leg. In that moment, Mikkelsen realizes that leaving the girl behind was a terrible mistake. He also understands that perhaps he is still alive because of her. Maybe fate wants him to save her life. Somehow he ties up his injured leg and climbs back up. He returns to the girl and finds that she has regained consciousness. She looks at Mikkelsen. Let me know if you'd like the final part translated too. Here is the English translation of the final part of your text. The girl asks for water, and Mikkelsen gives it to her. Then, once again, he places her on the sled and begins pulling her. His leg is broken, so he uses a wooden stick for support and moves ahead slowly. Though he is in immense pain, he is determined to save the girl's life at any cost. Bit by bit, he reaches the rescue point, which is located at a higher elevation. He can't pull the girl up the slope, so he first climbs up alone. There he sees a helicopter, and the sight fills him with joy. He comes back down and slowly pulls the girl up the hill. However, the helicopter and the rescue team are still far away. Mikkelsen lights a flare, but they don't see it. In desperation, he takes off his jacket and sets it on fire, but that too doesn't work. The rescuers don't notice the burning jacket. Mikkelsen then removes the girl from the sleeping bag. Both of them begin shouting and calling out for help, but by the time they do, the helicopter flies away. Mikkelsen and the girl are completely shattered. They realize that these might be the final moments of their lives. Mikkelsen lies down beside her on the snow and holds her hand. He apologizes to her, saying, "Because of me, your husband died, and now you are going to die too." After this, both Mikkelsen and the girl close their eyes. Suddenly, we see Mikkelsen's hair begin to move. There's wind. A helicopter has arrived behind him. The rescue team had seen them after all and returned to save them. This means both their lives are saved. Mikkelsen had been trapped in the frozen Arctic mountains for months, but he had never tried to leave. When he saw the girl's condition worsening and realized that she would die if left there, he made the brave decision to head toward the rescue point. That's why it said, if we truly try to do good, good things happen to us too. Just like how Mikkelsen tried to save the girl's life, and in the process, he was saved as well. After months, he finally succeeded in escaping that harsh place. And with that, this movie ends. Let me know in the comments which movie story you'd like to hear next. And if you liked this video, make sure to like it and subscribe on to the channel. Let me know if you'd like a title for this movie summary or a caption version for social media.